So comment, subscribe, dislike, or like. Check out the links in the descriptions for other of my sites, other activities that I'm involved in. Got a whole bunch of Facebook groups you can check out. I play multiple card games, so I do music among other things, so check out the links in the description. So this is my God Trunks Vegeks deck. One copy of the leader. 4 Vegeks Burning Impact Unleashed. 4 Vegeks Space-Time Synthesis. 4 Majin Buu Wickedness Incarnate. 4 Trunks Changing History. 4 Vegeta, Zeno Skillless. 4 E-Supreme Kai. 4 Goku Adventure Begins. 4 4-Star Ball. 4 Power Burst. 4 Instant Transmission Tensai Kamehameha. 4 Mirror Dimensional Superpower. 4 Toa Dark Demon Realm Sciences. 4 Super Saiyan 4 Broly Prismatic Burst. And 1 Hand Time Patrol Maiden. So the main idea of the deck is, drawing a lot, right? Using the leader's ability to active main once per turn. Choose 1 black card in your hand, send it to the warp in order to draw 2 cards. The best targets for that effect would be Trunks, Vegeta, and even the Goku The Adventure Begins. You have no problem sending them to the warp because you can always get them back, or at least use them while they're in the warp, right? Power Burst can obviously get you the Goku back from the warp. Majin Buu, you wouldn't have a problem sending it to warp for the leader's effect, but you rather have this in the drop so you can use its own effect, which is similar to the leader's effect, to draw 2 cards. So this has the active main ability of pay 1 energy, make sure all your leader's black, obviously, and all your energy has to be black, and then you can send this card from your drop to the warp, not from the game, to the warp, and then you discard a card, not warp, discard a card from your hand, and then draw 2 cards. So this will help you filter out through your deck. Obviously, before you activate your draw effects, you typically want to use your search effects, like your Goku The Adventure Begins, and your Trunks Changing the History, to grab cards out your deck, so your deck be thinner. That way, when you activate your draw effects of Majin Buu, your Mirror Dimensional Superpower, or your leader's effect, you'll be grabbing your non-draw cards, right? You'll be drawing everything else. And whenever you draw a draw card, then you'll use a draw card and draw, right? So, of course, we have Vegeks cards, so you obviously want to draw into them so you can go up the Vegeks chain. So originally I had the 3-drop Trunks, and I had another 3-drop Vegeta, but somebody pointed out to me that the card was limited to 1 per deck, so it's like, oh, okay, so I can't use that strategy. So I looked for an alternative to the strategy to have, to pretty much get the similar results, but it just costs a little bit more. It's like, all right, the changing history with a skillless Vegeta will work. Plus, inherently Vegeta being skillless, has synergy with Goku Adventure Begins, so there's synergy there. Unlike the other Vegeta Zeno that didn't have synergy. Obviously, this Vegeta is Vegeta Zeno. This Trunks is Trunks Zeno, which you need for the Union Potara of Vegeks Space-Time Synthesis. It has the ability where permanent, where you can choose battle cards in your warp when you want to use the Union skill of this Union Potara of this card. So it costs 3 to Union Potara. You need a Trunks Zeno and a Vegeta Zeno. Stack them on top of each other, and then put this on top of them, right? And then has the auto when this card is played. Add up to 1 battle card with energy cost 4 or less from your warp to your hand. So this is good, since the leader warps, like you warp black battle cards. For this, the leader effect, this can help you get any of that stuff back. Especially if you warped a Majin Buu Wicked Incarnate. Notice it's a 4-drop. You warp it with its own effect. Then when you play the Vegeks, using the Trunks and the Vegeta, you'll be able to trigger its effect and get the Majin Buu, Wicked, and Incarnate back. And then, of course, you can use this combo power if you want, so you can make a Vegeks Space-Time Synthesis 30k Double Strike. So, there's synergy there. And then, of course, you can always warp it and draw 2 cards, especially if you haven't used its graveyard as drop area effect of Majin Buu Wicked Incarnate. Then grabbing it from your warp, later on, and then combo, use it to get more cards to your hand, and use that for comboing with like another attack. Good, obviously, the way the chain works here for the Vegeks is after you use Vegeks Space-Time Synthesis, to attack, you'll want to EX evolve Vegeks Burning Impact Unleashed on top of it, which is a 30k Double Strike. So it's 5k stronger than the Space-Time Vegeks. And auto, when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to warp, which is decent. It would have been kind of cool if it had the ability where it sends a card from your opponent's hand to warp, just to further increase your chances of your attack going through. But like I said, you'll use the Majin Buu ability to draw more cards, so that we can use those cards, as well as the leader's effect to draw more cards, so that way you can strengthen the attack of Burning Impact Vegeks. The way Xeno Evolve works, you'll send the card you're evolving on top of to the warp, and then drop the Vegeks in active mode, so that way you can attack for with this Double Strike, and then warp it to drop this, and then attack with this. So that's what you can do there. So just with that chain alone, you'll have 4 people to output 4 damage. You can do that for 3 energy. So the sooner you get the Trunks and the Vegetas out there, the sooner you can play this 2-card combo. So you can output about 4 damage on turn 3. So use that. So I already talked about these cards enough. When you overwhelm, because you have to overwhelm Trunks in order to get his effect, he's overwhelmed 4. You pay 2 to play him. So if you're going to do this essentially in a single turn, you'll need 5 energy. 2 to play this with Overwhelm to bring out the Vegeta from the deck to the to the battle area. So you have 2 attackers. Swing with both, so that's 2 attacks right there. They're both 20Ks. And then you pay 3 to use Vegeks. Stack these on top of each other to play the Vegeks. Swing with the Vegeks, so that's 2 more damage right there. So that's 4 damage for 5 energy. And then send Vegeks to the warp to play the Vegeks Burning Impact. And then that's 30k Double Strike you swing with for an extra 2 damage. And that right there is 6 damage off of 5 energy. And you can go obviously you can go from there. Oh, I forgot to mention, obviously, when this card is played, add up to 1 black battle card, 4 or less from your warp to your hand. Obviously, this can come in handy if you obviously warp something like Trunks. And it would be useful if you already have a Trunks out of play when you evolve this, and then grab the Trunks that's out of play. That way you can do the Trunks Vegeta play all over again. Once you get 4 more cards in your drop, which wouldn't be that hard since you're drawing a lot, and you can always combo to get stuff in the drop. So enough of those cards. Of course, Goku lets you bring out for 2 energy. Lets you bring out the Vegeta from the deck or the drop area. So you have a 20k you can swing with. Since it's skillless, you use a 4-star ball with it. You can easily turn it into a 30k battle card. So apply pressure that way. You have multiple copies of Goku. Obviously, you can grab multiple balls. 4-star balls can be used with battle cards in leader to give it a 5k boost for the battle. So technically, you're comboing with it. But if you use it with a skillless battle card like Vegeta, it it gives an extra 5k, so it becomes a super combo when you use it with Vegeta. So there's synergy there. He's a pink guy, early aggro plus good as a finisher to give something, 10k and double strike to finish off the game, like Mirror, Dimensional Superpower, or Super Saiyan 4 Broly. If you're really late in the game, you can get him up to like 50k swinging and just drop the Supreme Kai to go for game. Power Burst, 5 or more cards you drop, you can negate, take a card from your life, add it to your hand, play this card to negate an attack, and then add a 1-drop black battle card from your drop or warp. Goku Adventure begins as a target for that. Instant transmission 10-time command, man. Obviously really good in this deck because of the fact that it lets you put your anything you overwhelmed or anything you put into your warp by your leader's skill. This will help you with that, or if you overwhelm for Trunks, obviously most of the cards will be black battle cards, so you can use this to put up to 2 black battle cards from your warp to the drop. This has the ability where you can send 2 cards from your hand to the warp and pay 1 black to add this back to your hand. So you could deliberately put Trunks and Vegeta into your warp just to add this back to your hand, right? And set them up in the warp. That way you could just pay 3 and bring out the Vegeks and put these 2 back on, right under the leader, right? Yeah. Because you still have to perform the action as if they were on the field. So you put them, stack them on top of each other and put Vegeks on top of them. So the synergy, like I said, the synergy there, obviously, one of the things you definitely want to do with this is to reuse your Majin Buu, put them back in the drop, so that way you can use them to, draw 2 cards. And the irony that, in order to add this back to your hand, you have to pay 1 black and warp 2 cards. Obviously, you want to warp battle cards that you can get back. Want them in the warp. Then we got Mirror, Dimensional Power. If you have 2 or less markers on it, it cannot attack, so you need 3 or more markers on it in order to declare attack. And then it has an active battle ability, -2 active battle ability, where you get 5k power for the battle for every card in your warp. So the leader can feed this effect. Manjibu, its own effect can feed the effect. Instant transmission 10-time can feed the effect. So overwhelming with Trunks can feed the effect. So we can get a lot of cards into the warp that we can use to power this thing up and get it pretty strong for very little energy. And like I said, you'll play for like 3, for example, so you can attack with it. Then -2 to get the power boost. Obviously you'll still have 1 marker to survive, but since you already declared an attack, its permanent won't prevent it from attacking because you already attacked while you have 3 markers. So that's why it's nice that it's an active battle, not an active main effect. And then it does have a +1 active main, which is you may choose 1 card from your hand, send it to the warp if you do draw a card. So this is another way of putting stuff into the warp on purpose and then drawing a card for it. Toa, +0 ability, active main, lets you warp one of your opponent's, discard a card from your hand and warp one of your opponent's battle cards 3 costs or less. So this will help you control your opponent's board. Get rid of any problematic 3 costs or less battle cards, like a blocker or something. A floodgate, like a floodgate 1-drop, like Black Massane or something. And then its auto will trigger when one of your opponent's battle cards is moved from the battle area by a battle or by a skill, like her skill, for example. You will get a marker. So it technically is a +1 ability when you use her active main. Then she has the second active main where you -4, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gain control of it. So using your own opponent's battle cards against them is always good. And you need 3 or more markers on her in order to attack, and she's a 20k body. Super Saiyan 4 Broly has a permanent that for every marker on the card it gets 5k boost. So if you have 4 markers on it, it's a 30k. You definitely want to get those types of high numbers. You always want 30ks here and there to attack with, which is why we got the Mirror, we got the Broly, We even got the ability just to take one of our opponent's 30k plus battle cards. We got the Vegeta with the 4-star ball, could be 30k. We got a 30k double strike here, 25k over here. So we got a lot of battle cards in the deck. We got a 40k over here, of course. That's pretty strong. So definitely have a lot of power in here. So you don't have to combo as much as your opponent will have to, because when you attack and they don't have negates, they're going to have to out combo, and they're going to have to use up a lot of resources to out combo these going tall. So there's a lot of going tall in this deck, which is always the thing you want to do in any deck you build. You always want 20k and up. Shouldn't be relying on 10ks and 15ks. We're way past that. It's 20ks, 30ks, 40ks. That's the numbers we at right now. And it has the active the -1 active main ability, where you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than their energy and send it to warp. So this is good against stuff like Dark Broly or any rival decks or any deck that likes to just bring out stuff for cheap, like to cheat out stuff. This will help you against that. And then it has the -X auto, where if your leader card is attacked, you may have this remove markers from this card and get 5k power to your leader for each marker you remove. This is an auto, not an active battle, so when they declare an attack is when you want to, and you're not negating, obviously, right? You'll want to trigger this to get the boost, and then they combo, right? Because they still have their combo step. Then you combo for your combo step if you still need to combo, but you would, because obviously they'll combo to try to over combo the fact that you boosted up your leader, and then you have to combo to out combo that. But at least it's free combo power, is what I'm trying to say. So you can bring it out as a big beat stick and then use it as combo power on top of that. So it serves more than one purpose. And then Pan, of course, ultimate counter attack. If you have 3 or more energy, you can play this card and from your hand, and then your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the turn. You can only use her counter skill once per game, and permanent. For each battle card in play, she gets her cost is reduced by 2. So if there's 4 battle cards in play in total, she costs 3. And then she has the active main, pay 1, remove her from the game, in order to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gain control of it. So basically, it's just another Toa in that scenario. So, and it's like a baby hatch. So, good card, obviously. Let's have. Now, not much with the leader. When you have 4 or less life, you can awaken. What's the other part? Or there are 5 or more Saiyan cards in your warp. You may draw a card and switch one of your energy to active mode and flip this card over. So, and then on his awakened side, he's a blocker. He's definitely useful to use in combination with Toa to remove a marker from her. Right, for the spirit boost ability, the active main 1% spirit boost, but you have to pay 1 energy for that. Place 2 black battle cards from your warp into your drop area. Obviously, you'll want to use Majin Buu, so you can keep using them as a 1 energy draw engine every turn. And then, plus you'll feed into your, Trunks overwhelm ability, and then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the warp. So this is a really nice ability to be able to warp something and trigger her effect. And then she'll get a marker for that, and then you can obviously, once you have 4 markers, you can -4 and take your opponent's battle cards, and gives you a little bit of board control right there. He's a blocker, so you can obviously redirect attacks to him, so that way you can protect your unison. And if your opponent does attack one of your unisons, your second auto triggers once per turn when your opponent attacks one of your unisons. Switch this card to active mode so that we can use it to block. So it's nice that you can use this to protect your unisons. And then vice versa. A nice little bit of synergy with this is with Broly, since Broly's auto, minus X auto only activates when your opponent attacks your leader, so you can obviously redirect the attack to him. I don't know if that will work, so never mind. I don't know if that will work, if that will count if I trigger blocker to redirect the attack to him. Would that count for me to be able to use the auto? I don't think so, right? It's counter, auto, blocker, then auto. I should be able to, right? Trigger blocker, then trigger my auto. I should be able to do that. I don't know. I don't know for a fact. I'm just going off of the Kaba concept. Counter, attack, auto, blocker, auto. So hopefully you can. Because then that'd be really good synergy, right? Use him to block for the Broly. Broly will help you boost up your leader so your leader can, block and not take a hit, right? Not allow you to take damage, and you'll be able to protect the Broly in the process. In case you want to keep him on the field a little bit longer. Especially if you want to use him for spirit boosting the following turn and just, remove a marker if there's any markers left and go from there. But the funny thing is, on average, you always rather your opponent attacks your unisons. I normally don't have a problem with my opponent attacking my unisons because to me that's just a waste of an attack. But you can be creative, and yeah, that's the end of the video.